Hey guys, here's Louie. So I first want to start by saying thank you for all the new subscribers. If you guys will pay attention to my subscribers, it kind of climbed up, which that's a positive thing. It's a good thing, and it motivates me to keep doing these videos for you guys. Let's keep the channel growing. Please like, share, subscribe, put a comment on the bottom, and I would gladly appreciate it. So this one's gonna be a short video, just how me, Louie, gets his hardware for the car for reassemble, finish, painted, looking presentable for a car, for when you are driving it down the street, and let's say you pull over because somebody want to look at your car, because believe me, it have happened to me driving the other Firebirds. People wanted me to pull over just to see the car, and with confidence I will open the engine bay to show them how clean the car really is. And let's face it, you're not gonna go to the extreme of a restoration like this, every nut and bolt, going through every panel, repairing and replacing a whole lot of sheet metal, for at the end slack off with the hardware being rusty, crusty, nasty. You don't want that, okay? You want everything to be nice and uniform, and with that I mean nice, clean, ready to go. So before anything, look at the car. I already put the doors back on. I actually tested out the fenders, but as you guys could see, I still had to paint it satin black, which that's done, and I'm happy how it came out. Once again, that's a plus for when you open your engine bay, they could see that everything was painted. So here goes the bird, and she's looking awesome. Now, what you need to do is, when you're putting the panels back together with nice shiny paint, put some tape. Okay, this is painter's tape, and if you guys really want to know where I got it from the Dollar Tree. Okay, so you can't beat the price. I put double, so I will do one line of tape and another line over that, and so forth, so on. So right here, your fender is gonna rest. If you don't want to gouge or scratch up the paint, put a piece of tape there, double it up. And this was easy for me because I already did all the hinges, and I had to kind of like do this on a fly because I had my brother over on the weekend, and while he was here I said, please help me hang up the doors, and he did. And let me tell you something, because we pre-adjusted everything, because I pre-adjusted everything when me and him was doing the doors, putting them back on, bolting them back onto the car, I was able to do both doors, okay, gapped and everything, height wise and everything, under an hour, I would say. If anything, an hour, being careful with the paint. All right, so believe it or not, I still have to paint these bolts. I'll get to them, but this is the whole part of the video. So you want to have all these bolts that is gonna go now to mount your panels back on nice and clean. The engine bay looks a little dirty because of course this car was in the garage as I was sanding the panels with filler, as I was priming other things, and the list just keeps going on. So when I'm done, I will clean it. But the engine is painted Pontiac blue, okay, correct for the year. As the years went on, the blue did change. And let's have a little fun fact here. The Pontiac painted blue on the engine. So in the 60s, this car being a 68, you knew a Chevy from a Pontiac, from other type of cars, different type of cars, because when you open the engine bay, once you saw the color, you will know which mark of the car, which brand of the car it belonged to. Orange being Chevy. I believe Mopar also used orange, and Buick has its own color also. A lot of them is green. But anyway, we that restore these cars love to paint the whole engine the blue, the metallic blue. But in reality, okay, when these engines was hung going through a line, okay, at the plant, the guys that was there was just spraying the engines. And let me tell you something. What got paint, got paint. Whatever part of the engine didn't, it didn't. None of them, I repeat myself, none of them was perfectly painted. But we do it like that. It looks good like that. So I just wanted you guys to know that history there of Pontiac and most likely everybody else. I'm just referring to Pontiac because that's my love and passion. So this is what I do. You get your hardware ready. You lay them out on your bench or anywhere you have space, okay? And you start counting of the nuts and bolts that you was able to save when you took the car apart, the whole car. And if you don't know them, label them. I'm pretty blessed that by this point, this being my third Firebird in my collection. I'm not saying I ain't do no other Firebirds, because yes, I did. I helped other people with their Firebirds, but this one being the third one in my collection that I totally took apart and built back up. By now, I pretty much know these cars. Within 20 years of me dealing with these cars, I pretty much know if you show me a bolt, where it goes, okay, and where it belongs. But always mark them, put your name in a little Ziploc bag of the bolt. You know, this is a fender bolt, and throw it in there, okay? Try to be organized. For the people that know me, really know me, they're my friends, they see me, you know, throughout the year, if only if it's a couple of times, but you personally know me, you know me in person. You guys do know that I am very organized, and I try to be organized because if you keep your garage clean and your parts nice and labeled and where they're supposed to be at, when you're gonna go look for it, when you're gonna go use it, it's gonna be right there, okay? So as you're taking off the bolts, put them away, name them, all right? Put the name in the baggie, put them away. All my threads, okay? All these threads where the bolts go, I chase them, okay? I use a chaser, and I chase the threads. I clean them out. I get some air from the compressor, water nozzle, and I blow them out. And right when I'm about to paint the color on the car, I chase them one last time, blow them out, and I like to put some of this tape on it. Believe me, I had tape here. I had tape on the bolts on the doors. And I just used a little pick, okay? They have all different sizes. I use a small set of picks, bend, has like a right angle on it. And I just stab it and I take them out, stab the tape and take it out. The threads, the hole where the threads are at, for when I paint and I finish, I don't have to chase them again. So I cover them with tape. All right. And believe me that when it comes time to put your doors on, to put your fenders on, anything in that matter that takes a bolt or a screw, you are going to feel so proud of yourself that you went that extra mile of cleaning them already, all right, to make your life easy for reassemble, okay? So for you Firebird guys, also Camaros of the same year that have them and have the experience, because all of this knowledge comes with experience, you're gonna know that to take off your heater box, okay, and the motor, the blower motor goes here, all right, which I painted already. You guys know that to change this with the fender being here and the hood is almost impossible, okay? For those over there thinking that Oh yeah, you could take off the inner fender and still get to it. Yes, you can. Very uncomfortable though. Very hard. It's not that easy. And let's face it, when you're dealing with a car that just been freshly painted or painted nice that you don't want to mess up the paint, you really don't want to be doing this. Unless it's so many years down the road, something happens that you have to. I still would take off the hood, take off the fender, and do it. I done it before. But since I'm in this stage of the game right now, I'm going to take her out. I'm going to clean it, scuff it, wipe it, and shoot it with some black satin paint. I will share with you guys the paint that I use, which I believe is very reasonable. You guys could get it anywhere. All right. And I'm going to share that in a second. But right here, when I take this off, that behind this, so part of the firewall going down was my very first metal repair on this car. Okay. I remember I said, I don't lose nothing because I have the sheet metal in the garage, and the more you practice, the better you get. So I started fixing this first. All right. And that heater box, there's a cool story behind this heater box and the other side. Well, the other side is also your heater box. Okay, this is the heater cover and your blower motor cover. So this heater box was given to me by a guy that I met last year, September, I believe. So it's going to be a year soon. And he was selling a first gen Firebird, a 69. And he did not know Firebird or like me. Okay. And which is is okay thing, because he wasn't a hard guy to talk to. He was a very nice, easy guy to talk to, and as of now, we are friends. We became buddies, and when he has a Firebird question, he messaged me and asked me. So that day, I went with my buddy Dan, and we went to go see this Firebird, the 69 Firebird, and he was selling it. And if I was gonna be able to get it like in a good price, or if I saw anything that was worth it, I would have probably bought it, but I skipped on that one. And funny story, right after us, this guy bought it, which happened to be another friend of mine. But anyway, back to the story, because I share so much information about these cars with him that afternoon. He was nice enough to donate the heater box that's on the other side of the firewall, and this right here, where the hamster wheel and everything goes. He was nice enough to donate it to me, to my project, for free. He just gave it to me. He told me, you have poured so much information into my brain that I understand a lot of things now about these cars, and I appreciate you. Here you go. If you're missing this part, here it goes. And he gave it to me, which I think that's really cool. Because guys, if you haven't realized this yet, I have, and I'm 42 years old. Money is not everything. Money is really not everything. For people out there that their minds, their brain, their life is stuck on money, I feel sorry for you guys, because that's a sad life. You need money to survive 100%, but money's not everything. Anyway, so we became great friends, and I have helped them. After that, I have helped him get rid of some extra parts he has. He had at the time, and I found buyers for him. We became cool, and boom, there you go. She's there on the car. She fit perfectly. All right, she'll get painted back on the car. Then also another step before I put my fenders on is the inner fenders. This turned out good. I mean, I love the way it looks. Those are your inner fender brackets. These are your inner fenders. This one being the driver's side, that one being the passenger side. The passenger side is a reproduction that I bought a year ago also from Ames Performance. This one is original to my car. So it's been with this car for his whole life, since 1968, which is the driver's side. Unfortunately, on these cars, the passenger side is where the battery sits. So 9 out of 10, If you go from 1968 to now, 50 plus years ago, that acid from the batteries will really start eating away from the metal. It gets nasty and corroded and rotted out. This one was rotted out, but I always save the inner fenders anyway until there's nothing left of them, because if it needs to just be patched and used again, that's what I do. Okay, this one needed to be patched in the bottom, and I actually used the old inner fender to patch this one up, and boom, there you go. I was able to use the original one. And I also paint this one with the satin paint, and I used the Evante over there from Harbor's Freight. All right, hope you guys could see that. That unit came out a couple of years ago from Harbor's Freight, and I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, or maybe more, a little more than that. But I owned it, slash my buddy Dan owns it, because I found it on Facebook Marketplace dirt cheap, and we both decided just to go half and half on it. And if it works good, great, we're happy. And if it don't, we're still happy, because we got it dirt cheap. That thing, when it first came out, was like $1,000, I remember. Me and him barely paid $100 for it, because I saw it on Facebook Marketplace, and bang, right there, we went to pick it up, and I have it here. She works great. So what she is, basically a turbine system. All right, it's not an air compressor or nothing like that. And that's the old school guns, the siphon guns. That one works great. The gun was more expensive than the unit. Yes, we did have the gun, but there was missing a spring. So he just went to Harbor's Freight. He picked it up. That gun alone was like $100. But now we have two guns. I'm just missing the spring. Maybe I get the spring in the future. But let me tell you something. What a lifesaver. Because since my car is painted now, and I didn't want to take it outside, and I don't want to paint inside the garage, I took out these inner fenders, and I went outside, got an electrical cord, put it out through the window, went outside, and I sprayed these outside with this machine here, and came out awesome. Now, moving forward, I still have the hood to paint. I'm trying to get this hood done before one of my special friends come to visit me here next month, and I would love for him to give me a hand to put the hood back, because for you guys that don't know Louis in person, I'm only 5'5" in height, and I'm able to take them off myself, but there's no way in heck my short arms could wrap it around real good and install it on the car, freshly paint by myself. I will not gamble that. So hopefully I'll get this done soon, so he can help me when he comes. This is the hamster wheel, slash, people call this the hamster wheel, but it's the blower motor, what blows the hot air into your car to give you heat and defrost also the windshield. So that's the blower motor, and I painted that already with the black satin paint. Right. And with the black satin paint that I'm going to share with you guys, and it looks great. Now, this is your hardware. Okay, and how do I clean the hardware? I basically put a wire wheel on one of my drills over here. I put a wire wheel on one of these drills, and just basically clean out the threads with it. I would chase the threads also with a thread chaser. You could use a wire brush. Sandblaster will be awesome for things like this. I do have a portable sandblaster from Harbor's Freight. Okay, I do give that a try also. Maybe in the future, I will see if I could free up some space and get a sandblaster cabinet. But that's how I do it. They come out awesome. I'm really happy the way they come out. If you guys need a look. So this was all rusty like this, and that's the way they come out looking, is a satin black. And these are your fender bolts, okay? And these are 3/8-16 threads, original Firebird fender bolts. You are going to need 8, okay? No, I'm sorry. You are going to need 5 on each side equals 10, because I almost forgot this small one here. This is for the inside of the fender between the A pillar once you open the door, okay? So I always say separate them, and I go through the threads real nice, make sure they're clean, and then I will, after I finish wire wheel them, I use rubbing alcohol to clean them out, let them dry, and then I use the paint. These small ones here, okay, these are also for your fenders, but your inner fenders on the wheel well side gets bolted to these. These are original bolts from Firebird, all right? And you are going to need a mess of them. I believe I counted 14 just to be able to bolt down the 2 fenders. But you're going to need more than that, because your lower valance, your fender extensions, and a whole bunch of other stuff in the front gets bolted by these little ones. So I have these bolts, and this tub right here is full of Firebird bolts, okay, original bolts. These are your bolts for your inner fender brace, okay? I'm just showing you that you have to be prepared to have all this when you plan to put the car back together again. These are the hood hinges bolts. All right, this is my deck lit bolt. Still got the original Vandero green. I don't know if you guys could make that up, but that Vandero green was the original color of my car. Now she's nice and white. All right, these are your J nuts. Your J nuts, okay, hardware. So if the original broke when you're taking them off, this is the one for the fender. So it's 3/8-16 thread, okay? This one and this one are for these. I don't have one out the pack right now. Well, yeah, there you go. Looks just like this one, okay? I have one right here too. All right, and these are 5/16-18 U-type nuts, okay? If you guys want to know where I got these from, I got them from my Tractor Supply store, all right? And this one goes inside on top of the fender, inner fenders. Once you open your engine bay, you'll see these cup washers. You won't see these because these will actually be underneath the inner fender. And if you could see, okay, that coating, that's undercoating. That's the old undercoating. And these are called your cup washers. A lot of cars are missing them. I love to see them because I like to try to put them as back as original as I possibly can. All right, and this is the original J nut, okay, original bolt. You guys can see that how it looks rough in here. That's because it's the undercoating. And each inner fender takes 2, so 2 for the left and 2 for the right side. These Phillips screwdrivers, Phillips screws you see here are original, also Firebird. They go on the very front of your fender inside from the engine bay side, and they get bolted to the fender brace, which it also get bolted to the baffles. I'll show you guys later video your baffles. You have 2 plates baffles on the top and a big one in the bottom. Helps you keep your car nice and cool. Pontiac engine running nice and cool. And these are the original body shims that Firebird used back in the day. I like to clean them up, okay? And sometimes I'll paint them silver, looking more like these. If you guys don't want to go through the trouble and find and use your original ones, you could buy these from Harbor's Freight. They're nice and clean already. There goes the set right there that I bought from Harbor's Freight. It works beautifully. Now, let's go to the satin paint real quick. This is the satin paint that I use, and I buy it from Ace. You guys can't see it here, but this will say Ace, okay? It's a satin black, and it's just like this, but in a gallon. Okay, so I like to buy the aerosol can to make life easier. When I buy like this, it's because I'm gonna mix it in the gun to shoot it with the gun. I have shot this with a Purple Harbor Freight gun. All right, and after I'm done, I don't even waste my time to clean the gun. I just throw it away because they're so cheap. All right, and I also use this one. I like this satin black too. It gives it a nice, you see, satin enamel. Is a very nice finish, like just like satin black. And I like to keep the things on the engine bay satin black because, believe it or not, that's how they look more or less original. Okay, it's not, the black not supposed to be so shiny. Now when I use this oil based paint here, this satin black paint, it takes a long time to dry, so I will put very little of Japan dryer, and to make the paint even more durable, I put some hardener. This hardener also Tractor Supply. I have this hardener for over a year or two. No, I have it like for 2 years. Let me tell you something. This is probably the third Firebird I do with this. It'll just last a long time because you're going to just use very little. About 2 ounces. Let's say if you're mixing the paint up, 10 ounces paint and about 6 to 7 ounce thinner. Your thinner will be, I like to use mineral spirit if I'm going to mix this. All right, you could use acetone also, and this you're only going to use 2 ounces. This you could use an ounce. You could use 2 ounces too. It'll make the paint dry real quick. Now if you're going to use Japan dryer for another any color but black, like a white, light red, yellow, things like that, be careful because Japan dry will make the color darker. But if you're using black, no problem. I hope you guys enjoyed this video of how to restore your hardware. Okay, useful. Try to lay them out like this when you're ready. I went through my car already, and I know these are exactly the bolts I'm gonna need to bolt all the panels back on the Firebird over there. All right, so you'll see it's gonna look complete pretty soon. So guys, stay tuned. All right, stay healthy out there. May God bless all of you. Till next time. Bye bye.